Today I'm going to discuss trailer conventions that we use or subverted in our final trailer for Underhand. The first one that we comply to is incorporating the logos. Here is the first thing you see before the trailer starts. Open Road Films was our distribution company, and you can see that they're not part of the big three, and they're a private organisation, and we decided to choose them because of that, because they will have niche audiences that will watch their films. Previously they've directed Nightcrawler, which is also a neo-noir, and recently award-winning Spotlight. And these all have mature niche audiences, which is our target audience, and that's why we chose them. You then see our production company here, which is Falcon Pictures, and we created that name by taking the name from the classic noir, the Maltese Falcon, and this was signifying to the audience of our genre and how we bridge from classic noir to neo-noir. Moreover, the next convention that we used was having a clear film title, which I will just play you. So here you can see that the title is slightly green, and this is symbolising the idea of jealousy and just deception, which is key themes. It's also got a black background, that's about immorality, dark, malevolent themes, and the idea of neo-noir. It's also an eye-catching and captivating title by having this previous movement, which was editing on After Effects, and the overlapping of the two images and the text moving with that, and that was done with layering two video images and layering multiple copies of the text. And this means that audiences are going to remember that film. The ending is important because they want to remember not only the characters that are shown at the end, but also the title, so they can go away, because they will most likely watch it in a cinema where they are about to watch another film anyway. So this way we can draw in the audience, keep them in our minds, and keep us in their minds, and that way it's a bit more of a marketing campaign. One convention that we did subvert in terms of marketing was social media. So sometimes your big Hollywood blockbusters will have the ending titles, and then they'll also have a hashtag or a link, like a connection to Facebook or Twitter. We decided not to do this because we are trying to appeal to a more of a niche audience, and social media tends to be used for those that are going for a larger, more varied audience. And although with our themes of crime and action that may draw in those that aren't just neo-noir, ultimately neo-noir is a very specific genre, and therefore we didn't think that social media was relevant. However, it will definitely be something that people would use anyway if they did really enjoy the film. There's lots of neo-noir blogs that I'm sure, and reviews that I'm sure that we would feature on, but Twitter would not be as used because it's older, more mature audiences. Right, next on, going into the actual narrative, a convention that we complied to was the character introductions. So in our trailer, the first character we introduce is Ross, who is our male protagonist. He is a father, a police officer who goes undercover and ends up getting so wrapped up when he falls in love into the job group that he quits his job and then plots to escape. However, he keeps being manipulated and tricked and doing more and more bad deeds, and yet all he wants to do is do right with his son, which is the next character that is introduced. And his name is James, and he's a young boy, his parents are both young, and he's recently, his mother has just won custody over him. From that, you then see that the next character introduced is the ex-wife, which is here, and...
God's sake, Ross, open the door! For God's sake, Ross, open the door!
We decided to not really show her face or show any more shots at her because, firstly, although she's a key character, she's not essential to the plot line, so it wasn't necessarily needed in the trailer, but obviously she will feature more and you'll find out more about her in the film. But it's also a trailer convention. You don't want to reveal everything about every character. You need some to still be mysterious, and this is where we were getting that from her. And again, we also use that idea when we introduced the Chief. We didn't build much on his character himself, except you can establish that he obviously has an influence on the main character and that he is his boss. And again, that's another character that would develop in the actual film. And then moving on, another essential character that is introduced is Jordan. And that's him. He is our male antagonist, and we've used this frame and we've introduced him. We then go on to introduce Max, who is seen here, and he is again another character like the Chief and the ex-wife Stacy, who you don't learn much about in the film yet. Contrasting to the other two, he is featured within the film quite a lot, and there's lots of moments where you see him but you're not quite sure how he's linked, and yet you know he's in the drug group but you're not sure what happens to him, and yet you do see later on that the character is plotting to kill him here. And obviously this highlights that this character is a key, like a pivotal character in the film, and he's a bit more of a cliffhanger. You want to know what is going on there. And then obviously a very important introduction was that of the femme fatale, which we decided to do last. And you see her here, and she's introduced. I'll just play this bit.
What's happened?
You ignore this.
You want my sister?
She is clearly got a link to Max, who is this character that is not yet developed as much but features a lot. She is his sister, and therefore you see that she has a good link in with the drug group. That's already established, and then through her smoking, she's this whole idea of deception, masked identity, and she's got this hidden manipulation quality to her. There is then also Alex, who is introduced, and I should have mentioned him earlier as he's introduced before Lila, but he is introduced here. You do actually see a bit of dialogue of him before, and he's obviously, it establishes a clear friendship between the two. I actually will just see if I can find that. Here, if you just listen to his dialogue.
We've been through a lot together, but this is different, so be safe.
So the diegetic dialogue there establishes that these two have a history, and not only because of their job, he clearly with his costume, he's a police officer too, and there's obviously a friendship between them because he's caring about him, he wants him to be safe, and that establishes that friendship. Okay, so moving on, another convention that we use was that of music and voiceovers. So we layered several music tracks in this trailer. The first non-diegetic piece is soft piano music.
I want Dad! Help me!
Which is actually slightly foreboding, as it's not completely parallel music to the action going on, because you see a happy parent and child here playing a game, and yet the music is this kind of sad quality to the piece, and you find out in the next 20 seconds or so that this is because he is leaving, the son is losing his child because of custody. He's lost custody, and that makes that apparent. And we've then matched the music with here. When his hand comes into the shot, there is a shift in music. It becomes more fast-paced and dramatic, as you can hear. And this is to, again, that trailer convention is setting the mood, it's setting the narrative, it's giving the audience, it's clearly saying that there's been a shift in the narrative, something has changed, and this is going to start a new development in the plot. It then builds up more and more over the voiceover.
The uprising of a large gang that are somehow smuggling drugs.
This is again matching the tone and the pace of the trailer, and it's becoming more action-packed now. You're seeing a lot more shots and a variety of characters. We also use the music to highlight main characters.
is by the name of Jordan.
So you see there, that was that non-diegetic sound when Jordan is introduced. It highlights that he's the main character of the audience. It's straight away drawn to him. And then again, as said before, a convention is voiceover, which you know that we use here, and that is we use that to establish the narrative, character, and the main plot points. And that is an efficient way of doing that in trailers, because you don't want to give too much away, but you want to quickly tell the audience exactly what has happened. And we decided to have the dialogue start first, but then verge over onto a voiceover by having clips playing. The diegetic sound of dialogue also establishes character relationships, like I said earlier. So that's like one of the friendship. There's also here.
You know, this is the last time we're going to be together for a while.
I love you, Daddy.
This emphasises that father-son relationship, the love between them, the family link. Then again, like I said, there's the dialogue of friendships, and then here it sets the relationship of the sister. So that's all how the dialogue, and we've used diegetic sound for that. We've then also used ambient sounding various places. One here is setting a park. You can hear birds in the background, and that's just to create it to be a bit more naturalistic. And although that sound was recording in post-production, we've used the ambient sound to give that idea that it's filmed in that moment, and that is a certain event. Another convention is time length. Ours does say 240, but that is including the credit block at the end, so it is about 2.5 minutes. That is just again another convention of trailers. You don't want it too long because the audience gets bored, and if it's too short it becomes a teaser trailer, and yet we were looking for a feature long trailer. Another convention we've used is the indication of release. So you can see here with the title Coming Soon. So we decided just to have Coming Soon because in our poster we have the actual date, and Coming Soon is a bit more of a suspense in a way, and the audience will then go on to research the film and find out that exact release date, and that's when they will come across our film poster and other things such as that. Moving on, another convention we've used is multiple settings and costumes. And this is just to establish that the trailer is taking moments from the film, different moments from the film, and it's not over just one particular time, and it's just given that narrative, clear plot points, and that. It's also quick cuts, and there's pace to it, and fast pace to it, especially towards the end.
Should I kill him? No. I have to.
He wouldn't just quit. There's something wrong, and I'm doing it.
How did you get the girl like me to fall in love with the guy?
Oh my God!
The guy like me?
If you're not going to do anything about it, I will.
It's either him or me.
Oh my God!
And this is all again just working with trailer conventions, keeping that fast pace, keeping the audience intrigued and paying attention. Another convention is marketing for a particular audience. So we've played a lot with noir and neo-noir conventions, which is, if you haven't, you can listen to in my other commentary where I've discussed, and that is going to bring in that niche and mature audience that are interested in neo-noir. But we've also given those elements of action, violence, crime, which is going to bring in younger audiences that are above 15 that are going to be interested in that, and possibly they will be open up to this new this genre that they haven't yet to discover, and that will spark more interest. We've also marketed the audience by having complex and mysterious characters, and then cliffhanging and unresolved problems, such as the shot where you see the gun being pointed at someone, and yet you do not know who is pointing it and who is going to die. And then again, that's the same idea with these endings. titles. There we are. And again, another convention is how we stuck to the structure of trailers. So we have our opening, the build-up, the problem and events, and this all links into the other convention of clearly outlining plot and narrative, because the structure establishes this equilibrium, it's then broken, and that's the build-up, is then the chief talking about what the act has to do, and then there's that bit where he then gets involved in the group, and there's the problems of should he kill him, should he not, and then the following events, the introduction of the femme fatale, who should he choose, his son or his girlfriend, and the falling in love and manipulation and violence that is involved in that. And then to finish off with, as I spoke about earlier, I spoke about the main title, but we've also used the conventions of titling by having the director here, and when we did our research we found that the older audiences looked more for the director in the trailer when they were looking at a film, so we decided to use this, and we clearly have the name of the director, George Falls, and this also links in with our magazine because he is the on the front cover for that. And we decided to use cryptic because then that links in with the narrative of the film, and the sense that there's a plot twist at the end that will draw in audiences. Moreover, another title we used
Have to. What I need.
is that one there, the official selection Sundance Film Festival. We use this because again that's an independent. They tend to have independent films or niche films at these festivals. However, one thing that I wish we could have developed is having the feathers, the official feathers that you see on the Sundance titles. However, we did try this, but it proved really difficult with getting those in to match up with the colouring of the text. So we decided that we were better off keeping the colouring of the text as that fitting in with neo-noir conventions. But if we did have more advanced technology or more time to work on this, I would like to incorporate those feathers. So yes, thank you for listening. That was my commentary on trailer conventions. Goodbye.